Starting with nothing but a dream and determination, I built my business from the ground up. No investors, no safety net, just grit and late nights. In this video, I will share the real story behind the journey. The failures, the breakthroughs, and the lessons that turned me from zero to CEO. The moment everything changed. I still remember the exact day. I was sitting alone in my small apartment, staring at a rejection email. It was the third one that week. I had no job, no savings, and honestly, no clear plan. But deep down, I knew one thing. I could not keep waiting for someone else to give me a chance. I had to create my own. That night, something shifted inside me. I pulled out a notebook and wrote one sentence. Start where you are, with what you have. I had a used laptop, free Wi-Fi at a nearby cafe, and a head full of ideas. That was it. But I decided to start. No mentors, no funding. Just me and a stubborn dream. Looking back, that moment was not dramatic, but it was powerful. It was the beginning of everything. Because sometimes, the smallest decision becomes the biggest turning point of your life. Learning to fail without quitting. Failure came faster than I expected. My first idea flopped. I spent weeks building something I thought people wanted, but no one showed up. It hurt. I questioned myself. Was I cut out for this? Was I just chasing a fantasy? But deep down, I realized something important. This was not the end. It was just the beginning. I started reading stories of other entrepreneurs and found one thing in common. They had all failed many times. The difference was they did not quit. I decided to do the same. Each failure became a lesson. I learned what not to do. I learned where I needed to grow. Instead of giving up, I treated every setback as part of the process. Slowly, my mindset changed. I stopped aiming for perfection and started focusing on progress. Because real success is not about avoiding failure, it is about rising after every fall. Building skills instead of just a business. In the beginning, I thought building a business meant just selling something. But I quickly realized that without the right skills, I would keep hitting walls. So I paused and made a new goal. Build myself first. I started learning every single day. I watched free tutorials on marketing, branding, and design. I read books about psychology, sales, and leadership. I followed people who had already done what I dreamed of doing. I practiced writing better emails, building websites, and speaking with confidence. Slowly, the dots started to connect. I was no longer just guessing, I was growing. Every skill I added gave me more control, more clarity, and more courage. The business was still small, but I was becoming someone capable of building it. That shift changed everything. I stopped waiting for luck. I started depending on growth. Because when you grow yourself, your business follows. My first big breakthrough. After months of trial and error, something finally clicked. I had been experimenting with different products and ideas, but none of them worked until I focused on something I truly understood. It was a small, simple idea, but it solved a real problem. I built a basic landing page, created a few graphics using free tools, and ran a $50 ad with the last bit of money I had. I did not sleep that night. The next morning, I woke up to my first sale. It was only $27, but it felt like $1 million. It was the first real proof that all the work, all the failure, and all the doubt were not in vain. That one sale turned into 5, then 10, then more. It gave me the confidence to keep going. My first breakthrough did not make me rich, but it made me believe, and that belief became my fuel. Scaling up without losing myself. As my sales grew, so did the pressure. At first, I tried to handle everything myself. Packing orders, answering emails, running ads, and updating the website. I barely slept. I skipped meals. I told myself that hustle was the only way. But I was burning out fast. One morning, I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. That is when I knew I needed help. I started hiring freelancers for small tasks. I built simple systems to automate my work. I learned to focus only on the things that truly mattered. things that moved the business forward. More importantly, I made time for rest, family, and things that made me feel alive. Because scaling a business should never cost you your peace. I wanted growth, but not at the price of becoming someone I was not. In the end, real success means building something great without losing who you are. Turning customers into a community. In the early days, I treated customers like transactions. I focused on numbers, sales, clicks, conversions. But over time, I realized something powerful. Behind every order was a real person. So, I started doing things differently. I replied to every message personally. I added handwritten thank you notes to every package. I asked for feedback and actually listened. Slowly, customers started returning. Not just for the product, but for the connection. They told friends. They shared stories. Some even became brand ambassadors without being asked. That is when I stopped seeing them as just buyers and started building a community. I launched a private group for loyal customers, shared behind-the-scenes content, and celebrated their milestones with them. The results were beyond anything I expected. Loyalty grew, word of mouth exploded, and for the first time, it felt like I was not building a business alone. I was building something bigger together with them. The day I called myself CEO. For a long time, I felt like an imposter. Even when sales were growing and I had a small team, I still hesitated to call myself a CEO. I thought that title belonged to someone with a suit, a big office, or a boardroom. But one day, after closing my laptop late at night, I looked around my small but busy workspace. I had built this. I had taken an idea, turned it into a product, formed a team, and created jobs. I had faced rejection, pushed through fear, and made countless decisions no one ever saw. And at that moment, it finally hit me. I was the CEO. Not because of a title on paper, but because I showed up every single day when no one else believed in the dream. That moment was not about status. It was about ownership. I stopped waiting for validation and started leading with confidence. Lessons I wish I knew sooner. Looking back, there are lessons I wish someone had told me at the start. The first is this: start before you feel ready. Waiting for perfect timing will keep you stuck forever. The second is, done is better than perfect. I wasted months chasing perfection when progress was all I needed. If you are just starting out, remember this: every CEO was once a beginner. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Start now. Learn fast and keep going. Your journey will be tough, but it will be worth it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more real stories and tips from the entrepreneurial path.